This topic or this chapter is really very short and it is straightforward. In the exam, there's two questions just asking about a small scenario to which dimension it relates. Okay. Here again, we will talk about the fourth dimension of the service management. What we mean by the four dimensions, it is what consideration you should think about or you should worry about when talking about when working as a service provider. When you work as a service provider, you should consider organization and people. You cannot work without knowing the people you are working with. The skills they have, the competences they have, and also for the organization, this organization, the culture in the organization, the policies in the organizations, the roles, the responsibilities in the organizations. All these factors you should consider. And in the same way, for information and technology, how sensitive the information you are dealing with, the technological system or the systems you are using, all these under information and technology. The same for the partners, the suppliers, the vendors you are dealing with, who provides you with goods, for example. This is a great, or let's say, an important consideration. The contracts you have also, this is under the partners and suppliers, and the same for value streams and the processes. How you, the activities, how you perform activities, what steps you take to transfer inputs to outputs, what steps you follow to create value. This is under value and processes. And also you should consider the external factors. This is a summary of what the four dimension about. What you will get in the exam is just a small scenario. For example, he will ask you roles and responsibilities under which dimension. You will answer under organizations and people. Or the following is not from the responsibilities or the areas covered by information and technology dimension. And there will be in the options, roles and responsibilities. So you select roles and responsibilities as not covered by information and technology. Contracts, for example, under which dimension you will answer by partners and suppliers. This is what the four dimension of service management about. So here in organization and people, you will look at the culture, at the capacity, the competency of people. Here the organization, we focus about the organization culture, which is created from two sides, from the shared values, based on how it carries out its work, and the objectives of the organization. As we talk, the definition of the organization is people or a person or a group of people to achieve objectives. And always these objectives are called SMART objectives. They are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable or achievable, realistic and time-bound. So you have values and you have objectives. All these are creating the culture. An important consideration in the organization and people is that every person in the organization should have a clear understanding of their contribution towards creating value for organization. You should know what is the value or who your stakeholders are in order to know how to provide value for. This is for the dimension of organization and people. The second dimension is the information and technology. In information and technology, you are talking about the systems. For example, the workflow management systems, the knowledge basis systems, the inventory systems, the communication systems. Any different systems are considered under technology. And sometimes the technology can be, for example, on-premise technology. You have your data center, you have your own servers at your organization, or sometimes you are using cloud services. where you don't worry about you don't care about your infrastructure. So all these under the technology consideration. And you also need to look about the information, about the data you have. Sometimes you are working on a sensitive data. So this is also under the information and technology consideration. Sometimes it is affected by external factors. As if you remember before, I think 4 years or 5 years, when the European Union General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, was issued, many organization changed the way it was working. So this is affected by the information and technology dimension. Partners and suppliers, it is about your relationship as a service provider with other organizations. They either supplies you with goods or services. They are called sometimes vendors, where you will have contracts with, and sometimes you share the same business or you have some partnership with other organizations. So this dimension covering partners and suppliers. So you should consider when you work as service provider. The same for the way the activities you are working or how you organize the activities. A series of steps the organization undertake to create and deliver products and services is called value stream. Value stream, what activities you do to create or deliver products and services. And these value streams depends on processes. Processes or a process is any steps of activities or any activities having inputs and converting them to outputs. Value streams depending on one or more processes. In general, this dimension is talking about activities and how these activities are coordinating. You know, in some organizations, there's a high level of bureaucracy. When you go to take any decision, it will take a long path or it will take a long time. While in other organizations, it is very quick or it is very agile. So considering this dimension, what steps you will take is under the value streams and processes. And of course, you need to look at the external factors. The external factors are different from the dimensions because they are out of the service provider control. When we are talking about the political conditions, the economical conditions, if we look at the how in these days, you know, the COVID-19 pandemic, you know, you see how it is affecting the whole world, not only the service provider. All these are considered external factors. So you need to consider. There is, or there are many frameworks to consider these factors. One of them called BISTIL. BISTIL is the first character from political, economic, social, technological, and legal and environment. This is a list where you will find many reasons or many items under political, many items under economic, many items under social, technology, and so on. And you can look at it, pick what of these factors may affect you or may not affect you. These are the external factors. One of them, for example, the GDPR. The General Data Protection Regulation, which affects, let's say, many of the organization working on information may be hosted or affecting the European Union people. So this is for the chapter 3, and also the questions of the this chapter is covered in practice exam 1.